So I get asked this all the time. How do you make more money in sales? And from the way I see it, there's really two ways that you can be successful in sales. One, you can be a really good closer. You can be persuasive and convincing and use all your NLP tactics and get people to move forward through the sales process. Or two, you can make people love you. You can build that know, like, and the most important word, trust, and then they will gladly and happily want to purchase the things that you sell, join your team, buy your coaching packages. And with the former, if you're really good at persuading and convincing, what I think happens more often than not is people may do what you want, but then afterwards they regret it, they don't feel good about their purchases, and they wish they hadn't done it. Whereas if you learn how to make people fall in love with you, no, I don't mean romantically, but to fall in love with you and to build that know, like, and trust, then you have customers that are gladly and happily enrolling themselves. They're actually selling themselves, and they will come back and they will buy from you over and over and over again. But the question is, how do you make people like you? And in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 ways to make people love you and trust you. So let's go. So what is the first thing that you want to do if you want people to love you and like you and trust you? Well, you want to find things that you have in common. One of my favorite authors, Seth Godin, says, people like us do things like this. And it really doesn't matter what those things are that you have in common. It can be that you both have kids, you can be homeschooling parents, you can love to make homemade goldenrod tea like we're doing right now. It doesn't matter what it is that you have in common, because for most of human history, it was so important for us to be liked and accepted by the tribe. And so this is rooted in our DNA. We want to find other people who are like us, who have things in common with us, and we naturally feel more connected with those that we meet that share the same values, that share the same goals, that share the same hobbies. So find people that you have things in common with, and you will be able to develop a deeper level of trust with them just because it's hardwired into your DNA. Now, the second thing that really makes people like us is when we compliment people on things that are important to them. So I'm not talking about their looks or their shoes or their car, but what is really important to them in their life? Are they really committed and engaged with their work? Does that bring them a lot of purpose and worthiness and value? If you learn more about them and what's important to them and what matters most to them in their life, and then you compliment them on the things that they're really good at. Are they really passionate? Do they have a passionate hobby or work with a nonprofit that's really important to them? When you compliment people, you make them feel good. And people want to feel good. There's so many challenges, so many stresses, so many negative things that are going on in our lives when we meet people that make us feel good, especially people that make us feel good about things that are important and valuable to us, our families, our faith, our children, our hobbies, our accomplishments. It makes all the difference. And when people feel that you recognize and acknowledge what it is that they do well and what's important to them, it builds an enormous amount of trust. Similarly to that, but not exactly the same, is showing an interest in things that are important to them. So what are the things that they love most? Are they interested in gardening? Do they have animals that they love? Do they have passionate hobbies? In my life, being a homeschooling mom, if someone takes interest in the education and the curriculum that I'm teaching my children, I immediately feel a different level of connection because they're showing an interest in something that I love and that I put a lot of my heart and soul and time and energy into. And when somebody can show you that they're interested in things that you really care about, you will feel more connected to them. And I don't mean doing this in a fake or insincere way. If you're wanting to build trust with people, you actually genuinely need to care about them first and show a real genuine interest, because any level of fakeness, people see right through that. And you're not going to build that strong bond. And you might as well just go back to the first method of sales that I talked about, where you get really good at closing and persuasion, because trust takes time. Now, the first three are pretty easy for most people to do. But these last two, this is what really separates those who are addicted to the outcome and only interested in the sale from those who truly want to build a know, like, and trust long-term relationship with their clients, with their customers, and their business partners. So, number 4 is that you're honest with the people even when it doesn't serve you. So let's say that someone is considering joining your coaching program or joining your team in your company, or even just buying the product that you're selling, and you realize that it's really not a good fit for them. What do? Are you open and honest enough with them to let them know that this is not going to benefit them? Or do you sell it to them anyways? And number 5 is being valuable without having an agenda. Oftentimes, marketers and coaches and business owners, they'll show up and provide value, but only if it means that they're going to make that sale and increase their bottom line, then they're willing to show up and offer value. But how you get people to truly trust you, truly love you, and be happy to buy from you over and over and over again long term is by being a person of value, by showing up and delivering that in the way that you can. Maybe it's videos, maybe it's emails, maybe it's just by being the person that asks them about themselves and does the first 3 things, right? Finds things you have in common, compliments them on things that are important to them, and shows interest in them. The value that you provide is going to depend on your unique gifts and what you offer to the world. But if you do these 5 things, you will build trust with people, and trust is the currency of a long-term, successful, and sustainable business. So I hope this was valuable to you today, and I'll see you in the next video.